So today's lesson is called Solving Multi-Step Equations. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to solve any multi-step equation by first combining the like terms and then doing PEMDAS backwards. So what that means is we're going to undo addition or subtraction before we undo multiplication and division. So in your notes, I want this example. We have the example 4x plus 7 minus 2x equals 19. Now the difference is, usually our whole goal is to solve for the variable, but if you notice, I have a variable over here and a variable over here. So what am I going to be doing? Well, since if we take a look at the variables, we have the same exact variable. I have an x over here, 4x, and I have an x over here, a negative 2x. So if you notice, are these like terms? Yes, they are. So that means we can combine them together. So our first step is to be combining like terms. So I'm going to combine my 4x and my negative 2x. It'll give me 2x plus 7 is equal to 19. So what did I do? I combined my 4x and my negative 2x. That's where I got my 2x from, because 4x minus 2x gives me 2x. Then I take a look at my leftovers. I have my positive 7, which came down right over here. My equal sign came down, same with my 19. So we're looking to combine our like terms. This is going to be our first step. Then, going back to my goal, how do I isolate my variable? Now I have a 2x, or 2 times x, plus 7. So remember, anytime a number is next to a variable, we can write it 2 times x plus 7 is equal to 19. Now what have we learned? We need to undo addition or subtraction first. Now why do I have to undo addition or subtraction first? Because we need to do PEMDAS backwards. So I'm going to subtract 7 on both sides. I end up with 2x is equal to 12. Remember, it's 2 times x. How do you undo multiplication? Through division. So I divide 2 on both sides and end up getting x is equal to 6. And that is going to be my answer. Now remember, you can always check your answer. Now, how do you check? We're going to take this value and plug it back into wherever we see x. So the original equation was 4 times x plus 7 minus 2 times x is equal to 19. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 6 wherever there's an x, and then I'm going to simplify and solve to see, will it equal 19? If it does, this is my correct answer. So go write down example number 1. And once again, let's take a look. I have a 6x minus 7 minus an x, I can put a 1 right there, is equal to 18. So what am I going to be doing? So first off, I take a look. Do I have any like terms? If I notice, hey, I got a 6x and a negative 1x. So what's 6x minus 1x? That gives me 5x. So I combine these together to 5x. Now what are my leftovers? My leftovers is the negative 7, so bring that down. The equal sign is equal to 18. Now, how do I solve this? Remember, we're going to be doing PEMDAS backwards. So I'm looking, can I add or subtract anything? Yes, I can. So I have subtracting 7 right here. So how do I undo subtraction? Through addition. Add 7 to both sides. My 7's cancel out. I'm just left with my 5x equal to 25. Now I did my addition or subtraction. What's next? Multiplication or division. So remember, technically this is 5 times x. So how do I undo multiplication? I undo it through division. Divide 5 on both sides. My 5's cancel out. X is all by myself. I've reached my goal, is equal to 5. And 5 will be your answer. And remember, if you ever want to check, you're going to take your 5 value, plug it in wherever you see an x. You don't always have to check there. Remember, on quizzes and tests, please check. Now on your own, go ahead and try to do number 2. Now if you're doing number 2 on your own, this should have been your work, and x is equal to 5 should have been your answer. Now go and try to solve number 3 on your own. Now if you're working out this at home, you should have done this as your steps, and you should have had y equals 6 or 6 equal y as your answer. Then go write down number 4 in your notes. Now number 4 is tricky. Now we have this negative sign. Now technically we can put a 1 in front of it. It's a negative 1. Negative 1 times what? 2k plus 8. Now, I see parentheses and I see a variable. So how should I be working this out? I should be using the box method because I have to distribute this negative 1 to my 2x and to my 8. So I set up my box, negative 1, my 2x goes on top, my positive 8 goes on top, so let's multiply. Negative 1 times 2x is a negative, 2k, okay. Negative 1 times 8 is a negative 8. So I end up with negative 2k minus 8, but that's not my answer. Don't forget we have these other leftovers up here. So I end up with plus 5k is equal to 40. Now, what's my next step? My step is to combine. I'm looking for like terms. But take a look. I got a k here and a k here. So I have my negative 2k and I'm combining it with my positive 5k. Remember, the values in front stay with those terms. So this is basically 5k minus 2k, which will give me 3k. So I have 3k, but I can't forget about my negative 8. Negative 8 is, oops, that's a bad 8. Negative 8 is equal to 40. And remember, we're doing PEMDAS backwards, so I need to add or subtract first. I have a negative 8 right here, which means I'll have a positive 8 on both sides. Now, since I'm running out of room, I'm going to move my work over here. So my 8s will cancel out. So my 3k, we're going to move it over here, 3k pops up. My 8s are gone. Let's see what's 40 plus 8 gives me 48, but I forgot my equal sign. Now how do I undo multiplication? Through division, so divide 3 on both sides. Now let's do some long division. 3 divided into 48 once, 6 times. So I get k is equal to 16, and that will be my answer. Remember, always undo addition or subtraction first, then multiplication or division. Now, on your own, go ahead and try to do number 5. Let me give you some room to do some work. So if you're doing number 5 on your own, this is all the work, there's all work, and your answer is x is equal to a negative 8. Now write me a 2-sentence summary. What did we learn today? What happens when we have multiple steps to do? We have to combine like terms, then we do the opposite of PEMDAS, working backwards. We undo addition and subtraction, then multiplication and division.